Good evening, everybody. The lady tells us that recording is in progress, which is a good thing. For those of you who don't know me, and I see already that we've got some additional names on the call tonight already that I don't immediately recognise, but thank you for coming along. My name is actually Ian Cording. For those of you who don't know me, and there's usually one or two that don't, I'm actually the UK office holder. Myself and my wife Benuta, who you can see also, we head up the UK operation between us, although I've nominally got the title of the office manager, for my sins, no doubt. So the situation here is that most of my today has been spent translating a PowerPoint about the recently launched Life Balance Contact device. It's been a huge job with almost 100 slides. So tonight, my intention is to solely cover the first quarter, part one of the presentation. That way, I won't suffer from overload, nor will you, because I know how terribly hard it is to absorb so much information in one go. And depending on how the timings go tonight, I will then decide whether I do the remainder as a follow-up to it in one chunk. I would like to do that, but I say not only have I had to be translating from the Russian, I've been having to anglicize it, to Englishify it, and also make sure that I understand rather than just read it a bit like a parrot. So bear with me on that. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a YouTube video about this extremely smart device that we've now got in our possession. And many offices throughout the world have them in stock. We are certainly well placed in the UK for that. I hope that many of you will have seen this already, as it has been around for some time, since the 24th of May, I believe it was first published onto the YouTube. And so I'm just admitting people. Benuta, if you can take responsibility for admitting people, I think you're okay on that, yeah? Thank you for that. So it's been around since about the 24th of May, the YouTube video. And the 25th of May in the dedicated UK Facebook group that we manage. So let me just deal with a screen share and we'll watch this YouTube video together by way of a starter.
A living body is a source of weak electromagnetic oscillations. Each of our cells generates electromagnetic oscillations, and each organ has its own specific frequency spectrum. The whole body is a well-ordered, complex system. It is capable to catch signals of different frequencies, as well as resonate in accordance with them. The bioresonance method is based on this fact. Weak electromagnetic oscillations affect the body's structure at different levels: membrane, cellular, and system. Pertinent in terms of the form and frequency, bioresonance effect strengthens the physiological oscillations peculiar to a healthy state and weakens the pathological ones. Electromagnetic signals in the human body are one of the components of homeostasis, which perform energy information, communicative, and regulatory functions at all levels of its organization. Absolutely all body perimeters can be measured. If these perimeters indicate health problems, they can be corrected. Since the bioresonance effect was discovered, millions of very good health results and positive feedback from scientists from different countries were obtained for more than 50 years. Many manufacturers offered bioresonance therapy devices all over the world. Some of them specialize in exogenous correction, others in endogenous. The exogenous correction involves the delivery of external electromagnetic waves in the human body, which are intended to come into resonance and extinguish the pathological oscillations. It is possible to suppress most infectious agents exactly via the exogenous bioresonance therapy, and thus to help the body to recover. The endogenous bioresonance therapy uses the natural body's oscillations in the correction process, which have previously undergone the special treatment. The result of such processing is strengthening of normal oscillations and weakening of pathological oscillations due to the signal inversion. After processing, the natural oscillations return to the body and correct electromagnetic waves throughout the body. The research and production enterprise Litomid Bio, which has more than 20 years experience in the bioresonance equipment production, has developed the world's first device that combines endogenous and exogenous effects exclusively for an international company, Business Process Technologies. The Life Balance device has an attractive design and a small size. It easily fits in your pocket or purse. The device has a built-in speaker which signals the program end or when you need to charge the battery. Thanks to the bright LED indicator, you can always control the battery charge level, perform program, and operating mode. The device has 8 programs, 6 programs of which are basic. 1 program is detoxification program, and 1 program is a complex that can be composed manually using software containing more than 3,000 therapeutic programs. The device is equipped with a Bluetooth module for easy program operating from a mobile application, as well as programming the device remotely. A non-contact charging will allow you to not get confused in the wires and charge the device simply by putting it on the dock station. For the best effectiveness, each basic program is performed in 2 steps. At the first stage, the endogenous effect is performed. The device reads out oscillations arising in the body via electrodes. Next, the signal is filtered, processed, and inverted. The processed oscillations are returned to the person. A closed loop of the adaptive regulation is formed in the process of this effect. With each next return of oscillations to the human body, the pathological frequencies are weakened or completely suppressed. The gradual recovery of the homeostasis, dynamic equilibration in the body occurs. Parameters of the electromagnetic effect are determined by the state of the person himself that makes them as individualized as possible. And this method is the most optimal for improving the general condition of the person. At the second stage, the device switches to exogenous mode, and one of the selected programs is performed. Exogenous effect by frequency of Hilda Clark, antifungal program, the protozoan suppression, antivirus, antibacterial, or anti-helminth program. The device is not a product of the medical purpose. That means you can use it at home for preventative purposes. Today, it is the best device, not only in terms of price, quality, and options, but the unique device with the most modern and advanced bioresonance technology, combining endogenous and exogenous effects with an option of programming that has no analogs in the world. Use the latest technologies for life extension and be healthy.
Okay, well, I hope you found that a good refresher, or you found that interesting and advisory. And I'd like to say that's enough for me tonight. I'm out of here. But that would be very disingenuous of me. So what I'm going to do now is, as I said earlier on, I'm going to go through the first part of a PowerPoint presentation that has been produced by a colleague in Russian. But I say, because the translation, I've literally only been doing it today from the Russian, it may be a bit disjointed, forgive me for that. And some of the translation probably still needs polishing into English. All that said, in the fullness of time, I will, for everybody's benefit, produce the whole with an overspeak. But I said we're going to go through about the first quarter tonight, part 1, of nearly 100 slides. So a lot of depth that we're going to be going into. So again, I'm going to revert to screen share. Let me just do that. Talking to myself, as is the habit. Let's get, oh, no, we didn't want that. Just and if somebody could just give me a wave, just so I'm 100% sure that you can see what I can see, which is a lady sitting in a, yes, you can. Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks for that. So this presentation, this PowerPoint presentation has been produced by a very senior partner with BPT, with Business Process Technologies. She is actually the Kyrgyzstan office owner. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her name. I'm sure if she ever gets to hear this English version, she will forgive me for that. But she's a regional member of the board of directors as well, and has produced this quite huge presentation on this latest device which we have in our possession. So introduction, as I say, part one. My way is not to read every line, every sentence. You can read and process information probably 5 times quicker than I can say it. So I will take the lumps out of the presentation and convey them to you, but there will be a recording of this, and the actual presentation, when fully translated by me, certainly within the next 48 hours, will be available through all the usual channels, I think is what we say. So here goes, general information and terms. Can I get rid of that? Yes, I can. General information about the nature of oscillations. Now, a lot of this stuff is going to be by way of a reminder to you guys. It's stuff that you know because you've been involved with BPT, with the Web Wellness Program particularly. So some of it is going to come as no great surprise to you. Living organisms and tissues have their own unique frequencies, and they're generators of a very weak electromagnetic field. And during the process of their life, they exchange matter, information, and energy with the environment, and they exchange these with the animate and the inanimate nature that surrounds us. Oscillations that occur inside our bodies have an electromagnetic nature called internal oscillations. And these oscillations can be measured by the life balance Profi devices that many of us actually have, using the electrode connections that you're all, I think, familiar with. But for anybody who's watching as a guest tonight, we have electrodes on our wrists, our ankles, and our head. General information again. Normal oscillations in the human body are harmonic. They're called harmonic, they're physiological. Oscillations arriving, let's just see if I can get this out of the way somewhere. Probably not the best place to put it, and I will move it around. Oscillations arriving as a result of disruption of a cell or an organ or a system are called disharmonic. That is, they are pathological. That is where we have pathology and we experience the problems. Yeah, I suspect I'm going to be moving this around quite a bit. Let's just take that away completely. So vibrations entering the body's environment or from special devices that we are familiar with, can affect the body, and they're called external vibrations. Now, we've got 2 terms that we use, and some of you I know on the call tonight have undertaken training in either Russian or English training through our office, and you will be familiar again with some of the terms used. So endogenous effects, it's the therapy with its own internal electromagnetic oscillations of the human body after their special treatment, after those oscillations are actually treated. These oscillations because they are electromagnetic in nature, they can be removed using electrodes, transmitted through the wires to the input of the device for bioresonance therapy. And when those vibrations enter the device, they undergo special processing. It's called inversion. So those pathological oscillations are then extinguished and the physiological fluctuations are amplified. So we're taking away the pathology and we're enhancing the physiology. The treated vibrations, as I say, are returned again by using the same wires and electrodes that we have. The field of a person is almost instantly reacts to the impact and actually begins to actively send the uncorrected, the poor, the corrupt vibrations to the device. So an adaptive self-regulating is formed with the device and the person, and this creates this vicious circle where the process, the inverted signals, return to the human body again and again and again. So endogenous corrections, as opposed to exogenous, is the rapid restoration of the state of the body by actually eliminating the disharmonic, the pathology, the pathological fluctuations. It amplifies the normal, the harmonic. So it amplifies all the good guys. In basic English, it amplifies all the good guys that are effectively operating within our body, our organs, our cells, and our systems. And the activation, it activates the adaptation reserves that are inherent within our actual body. This will increase the body defenses and resistance to the negative effects that surround us in our everyday living. So we maintain a dynamic balance in the body. Exogenous therapy, it's the impact of the body on the electronic oscillations with a low intensity, strictly defined frequencies. And these are tailored with individual organs and systems of the human body as they enter into resonance. For example, the magnetic fields created by special generators. And what we're talking about here is a special generator, the life balance contact. Don't forget that. Exogenous exposure allows you to eliminate parasites, the viruses, the protozoa, the fungi, the bacteria, the helminths, which are all present in our body. We don't like to think of it sometimes, but once we have some understanding of our body, and we've perhaps read quite a bit in the web wellness programs and attended a few trainings, we really do get to understand this. So the directed resonance frequency effect and ensures the removal of resulting toxins by the body by bringing specific frequencies to our body. We'll talk about this, if not later today, and when I say about the removal of the toxins, it's then the actual toxin removal from the body where it's been exuded. This type of correction eliminates many of the pathological infections and parasites present in the body, and it safely conducts a deep cleansing of our organs and tissues from toxins. It can, and because of its functionality, it can aid the prevention and development even of many, many diseases. So you need to be proactive, not reactive. And that is something which you learn very, very quickly with web wellness. You'll get a lot of people you engage with, and we're being reactive. What we need to do is be proactive, get ahead of the potential for pathogens, for viruses, etc. So the exogenous correction quickly and effectively restores the functions of our organs and systems, increases immunity and resistance to the effects of the negative environmental factors, and as I said earlier, activates its own reserve. So we've got something in reserve. There's a reserve tank sitting in there. So this is it, the life balance contact. I don't actually have a physical one about me. No doubt at the end, having said that, my co-pilot will have found one, and you can actually see one if you've not seen one. So what comes in the box? Open the box, what comes in there? The Life Balance contact device. We have rubber straps, which you can see here. They're wrist straps or ankle straps, depending on where you're working on, with the contact built into them, cords to those contacts, and a USB charger. And of course, the all-important passport. Again, seasoned veterans will understand this. Those who are perhaps listening in for the first or one of their early times, correct completion of the passport in terms of the validity of your guarantees is essential. And boy, do I know that as an office owner when it comes to trying to claim the free repairs, if you like, or the free correction of devices for you guys. It's the first, as you saw in the video on the YouTube, it's the first portable device of its kind. This is really groundbreaking stuff. So combining the principle of directed bioresonant effects, but both endogenous and exogenous correction of the state of the body. Never, ever to this day produced by anybody. So Lynamed, the company that we collaborate with, you know, they're ahead of the game on this. We've got automatic frequency selection and the ability, that ability, again, reflect back onto that video, go and watch it again. The ability for an individual program, which can be taken from a Life Balance, a Life Expert Profi diagnostic. Designed for the individual to use at home in order to prevent diseases and safely restore health. So again, a lot of what I'm saying, a lot of what you're seeing is repeats and perhaps a little bit more of an underpinning of the YouTube video that you've seen. It has ready-made complexes. These are tested by doctors, a big doctors panel, and the scientists, and configured in a way that maximum results in a short period and safely, provided you, of course, follow the instructions. Already had reports from one of our team who got a little bit excited, let's put it like that, about the device that they had in their possession, and was a little bit too aggressive with it early days. But they weren't to know any better because the information really wasn't out there until now. So sequential exposure of endogenous and exogenous electromagnetic oscillations of a low intensity, strictly defined, strictly designed and defined, and this causes this resonant response in the body. Whoever's got their mic on, if they could turn it off, that would be useful. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to have to rely on whoever it is to turn it off because I can't see who it is at the moment. So the oscillations enter directly through the body, through the electrodes, and the exposure to pathogenic processes in the body, they're enhanced several times, but continue to remain safe for humans. Consistent use of the device, of the endogenous and the exogenous methods of body correction, and again, that will come later, complement and actually enhance each other. The recommendation here is to not rely on one of our devices in isolation, and we've said this in the past, but use these devices in combination to get the best possible overall response and improvement to your body's health. And some of you, I'm sure, are going to be familiar with the Life Expert, the Life Balance version 2 down there in the bottom right-hand side, and the Life Air device, which, again, for those who know, is not just an air filter. It's an air ionizer. It takes negative, positive ions, converts them. It does filter, yes, for sure it filters, but it has a silent running night mode as well. So these can all be used in combination. So Indications for the use of the life balance context. The LBC means life balance context. Comprehensive prevention of any infectious or parasitic diseases, restoration of the work and the functions of the organs and the systems. Those of you who have some experience of the bioresonance system will understand or will be able to bring to their mind the diagrams, the connections between the organs and the systems. The red lines, you remember the human body with the red lines, so everything interconnecting between the wrists, the ankles, and of course the head connectors. And there is an express help, if you know, there's a bit of a fast track for very acute conditions. So here it is. Again, you can see down the left-hand column, I'm not going to read all of them. You can see the disease, the diseases which are identified. Allergic diseases, endocrine, those associated with your digestive tract, kidneys and urinary tract. And in the right-hand column, you'll see the symptoms or the indication that we have that particular disease. Now, contraindications, and we need to talk about this a little when we're using the life balance contact. Use of endogenic. There are no contradictions in the sense of absolute. Relative is people that have shown signs of or declared mental illness or difficulty in communication with people, or someone who's in a state of acute mental agitation or intoxication, and that can be alcohol or drug related. So the relative is on the endogenic. If you look at the exogenic, you'll see again, and some of you will be familiar with these, when not to use Life Balance Prophy, indeed, and Life Balance 2. Pregnancy, the first trimester, the first 3 months, sorry for using a very Americanism, but the first 3 months. Transplant of any live organs, if someone has a pacemaker fitted. Tumours or other such growths, whether they've been proven to be benign or malignant. Don't use these frequencies unless you have taken doctors' advice, input, and sort authority. Now, this can be panel doctors. There are doctors associated with the company, or it can be, and they do exist in this world, this can be doctors who have an understanding of bioresonance therapies, its ability and its successes, and can parallel that with what we would perhaps refer to as traditional medicine. So that's it for tonight. That's going to lead on to the very next section, but as I say, there's an awful lot to take on board. What I'd like you to do is refer back to the part 1 that I've covered so far. Let's just stop the share now, and let's take the view back to a gallery view. Now, that'd be nice so we can see some faces. I'd like you to review the YouTube video again, and if you've seen it twice, watch it a third time. This evening's presentation, as far as it's gone, I'd invite you to review that. Once it's been processed this evening, it will be available and circularized through all the usual channels. And I know some use WhatsApp, some use Facebook, there's the Telegram groups, etc. What it will probably be, because I'm sure it's going to be quite a hefty file, it may be that a link is offered where you go and collect it. Because I personally don't maintain a YouTube channel in association with BPT. So I haven't got that facility. And of course, not everybody goes to YouTube anyway, so it's better that they can collect it. So what I'm going to do for the present is I'm going to stop the recording because that's me done for tonight.